Rhea and welcome to this podcast. As you know, marketing is an ever-evolving industry. With that in mind, I've started this podcast so we can talk about new and creative ways of running marketing channels as well as forming strategies. Be it branding, digital ads, influencers, social media, SEO, and lots more. Consider this like a friendly chat with a colleague where you learn from each other's experiences and insights. So, let's explore together what's next in marketing. Let me tell you what's in store for you. In today's episode, we'll talk a lot about growth. What is growth hacking? What are growth loops? How do they differ from each other? How should I form successful growth loops? And what are the analyses that can help me better this loop? Also, what is the 80-20 rule of marketing? Stay tuned. In this episode, we have Rohit Kumar with us. Rohit Kumar is currently the head of digital marketing at Cuemath, which is an edu-tech company based out of Bangalore. Previous to this, he's also worked in separate parts of an organization such as software development, sales part, business, and now coming to marketing. So from this interesting journey, I think you hold a lot of unique point of view, which will help us, decode some of the facts that can make someone successful at marketing now. So I'm very excited to have this podcast and hear your thoughts on marketing.
Thank you so much, Rhea, for inviting me. I think I'm looking forward to it. Let's have and I've been watching you. I think it has been a great session. All the powers to you. Let's do it. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So if you've been watching me, the first round is rapid fire, where I will test your presence of mind. So the number one question is, if you were a brand, what would your motto be?
Perseverance, I would say. So I think this reminds me of. I'm not sure if you have seen. Have you seen Rocky? Rocky from Sylvester Stallone. There are some 7 series of boxing.
I haven't seen it. No.
Okay, so there's a famous quote. It's like it mentions it's not about how hard you hit. Okay, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
So definitely. I mean, if you do everything and become a success at it the first time, you wouldn't know what you're not supposed to do, right? There are no learnings then.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Right. So my second question is, so this is a scenario, okay? You could be the number one employee in a company and have all of your co-workers hate you. Or you could be this 15th employee in the company and have all of your co-workers like you. Which one would you pick and why?
I think loving, if co-workers love me, I think that's not a big thing for me, okay? Because I need to get shit done. And when you get shit done, you rub some shoulders here and there, okay? So it's not about becoming popular at a company, okay? I really don't want to become a popular at a company. I want to get my metrics moving. I want to save my business. And if I do that, automatically my co-workers get a good jump. They get a good appreciation. They get good appraisal. And accordingly, that things are taken care of. So I think irrespective of popularity in terms of they like me or not like me, definitely I want to become number one. Number one means I'm actually contributing to the company.
So we'll jump to the next section. Okay, here's the $1 million question. What do you think is next in marketing?
What do you think is next in marketing? Okay, there are so many things next in marketing, but I would say don't focus what is next in marketing. I would say focus what is currently there in marketing. So I think we have been so engrossed in terms of what's next, and we'll keep thinking about it. But I think that's equally important, but it's equally important to execute whatever you already have and what are you good at it. So, and that's another perspective. Coming towards what next in marketing, I think how I mention it is a SIP. So systematic investment plan is next in marketing. Okay. So SIP is next in marketing. Now people will be confused. Okay, what is SIP? SIP is a finance term. In terms of mutual funds, we use it. I think everyone knows it's like systematic investment plan. And if you see a correlation towards it, it's a fixed deposit. So like when you do a fixed deposit or something, you invest in a lump sum amount and you get at that particular rate of interest, you get it after certain years, right? But SIP is like whatever interest you get at periodically, those get reinvested. So that's how you get a compounded growth in terms of systematic investment plan, right? So now how I'm correlating with this with respect to marketing is marketing so far has been linear. Okay. I think marketing term will also get obsolete, I believe, maybe say
Mm-hmm.
10 years down the line. Like no one has, Facebook doesn't have a marketing team. I'm not sure. Even LinkedIn doesn't have a marketing. They have a growth team. Okay. As I just mentioned to you in the previously as well, if anything doesn't lead to growth, is of no sense. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
marketing has been linear so far. It has been you get traffic, you get leads, your leads gets converted, you get sales, you get payment, and then you renew it and you keep earning revenue from it, right? So the fancy term for this is, I think, a active acquisition, activation, then you retain, then you refer, and then revenue. So AARRR is what generally people use for a funnel approach.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was coined by more than 11 years. We all have learned a great from this particular aspect, and that's how we have been approaching marketing so far. It's a complete funnel, like you see it in a one-way approach.
Mm-hmm.
How I see it, there is one missing leg to it. Is It's a funnel approach, but now there is a loop approach where whatever users you get towards the end, how can how can those users help to get more and more users? Okay. Now something similar like fixed approach, it's a linear thing. Like it's something similar to the funnel we are talking about. Like you get traffic, you get lead, you get payment, and you're done. Now to get more and more leads towards the end, or to get more and more revenue towards the end, you need to get more and more traffic, and it will always become linear in terms of amount being spent. Like you need to get more and more Facebook leads, you'll spend more and more money, you get more and more people working for you, you get like resources will be actually linear in terms of directly proportion in terms of whatever you want towards the end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something similar to the fixed deposit approach. You need more and more interest, you need to invest more and more money in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
right? As compared to the another approach I'm mentioning, like whatever you invest, whatever you get traffic, from that traffic, whatever users you get, how much other users that specific users are getting. Okay. So the same users, how many more users that specific users getting, that is equivalent to a SIP approach, which is systematic investment plan, where how we can reinvest, just like we're reinvesting the interest, how can we reinvest the users to get again more users? So there is a complete loop. So funnel was like this, it moved from this point to this point. What we are doing in this SIP approach, we are just connecting it back to this.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the loop becomes. So it's like this, but it again gets connected to get more and more users, because towards the end, yeah, you got a user, those are also helping me to get more and more traffic, and then again it becomes a loop. Okay. And it'll keep running. And I think if you see, and it is very relevant for tech companies, SaaS products, and I think many companies like Facebook, name it any company, and we can figure out a growth loop in it. Like just to give an example for the users, maybe let's take name any company. So Typeform, like Typeform is another, SurveyMonkey, Typeform,
Yeah.
Substack. Yeah, I think all of these are upcoming. So let's figure out a growth loop in it. Okay. So like whatever the users they get,
Mm-hmm.
whatever users they get in the beginning, uh, that will create an account that will, like suppose take Substack. Okay. They will create an account, and when they create an account, they'll they'll create a blog around it. And when I create a blog, obviously I'll share it. Maybe I'll share it on LinkedIn, maybe I'll share it any other place. And when I share it, there's a branding of Substack which is automatically happening, because if I don't have Substack and I can see, okay, this is branded by Substack, whatever I see, it is the name .substack.com, and it in all emails and newsletter, everything, it comes as Substack. So since I'm more concerned about it, what it is, since you've just shared with me, I'll again go back and maybe I'll launch my own account for Substack. Similarly, in a type form, you might see whenever you end filling the type form, you can see the branding of type form. You want to do more on it, or you want to
Mm-hmm.
like you want to create your own form. Even I think Calendly also have the same thing. Towards the end, it tells you, okay, you want to have create another account. So it's like a loop. Like even though I am sharing something with you, but since you are sharing something with me, there is in branding, there is an approach there where I can also get hooked into it, and again I become a user to you.
Mm-hmm.
Something similar to how Facebook also have, because if I send you a friend request, and if you're not on Facebook, so you will be in that, like you will feel like, okay, let me come on that platform, because you're not there on the platform. So we both have to become on a platform. So I think that's the reason. And you can find various growth loop. There is not one growth loop in any company. There can be various growth loops. Like suppose in a Facebook ad, now how we can think of creating a loop there, because that's a major thing, because you're spending some money. So now you think in this manner, like you got some leads. Okay. Now with those leads, you need to to ensure to get more and more leads. Yeah. Now, those leads, can you make an experience post the lead submission to be such that it becomes benefit for that users to invite more and more users. I'm not saying inorganically, like just by payment, that is referral, that is separate. Okay, this is inorganic. That means through usage of the product, like you get more and more people on the product. Maybe say there is some offer, or like there's some unlocking happening in terms of I'll get something, and if I invite 3 or more, I'll get 4 or 5 different products for unlock to me. So I'll just click a share, I'll just share it to my friends, and I'll get something for benefit. And since I share it to them, they also get something for free. And
Right.
it's also written in their free thing that maybe if you share it, it becomes, you unlock certain other aspects. And just give you an example. So
Mm-hmm.
the funnel approach is where everything is defined. Okay, this is the path we all know.
Mm-hmm.
It is completely straightforward. It is on YouTube. You can search anywhere. You'll find thousands of things about how to do it. Now
Mm-hmm.
the loop approach is very specific to the product. Like you have to demystify that. It is completely dependent upon how you integrate that thing into the product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's very specific what specific user is using, and it requires a lot of brainstorming, discussing with the user how to integrate it, because there is no straight answers for it. Simpler terms is basically uh, what I'm trying to mention is right now it is linear. You get traffic, you get users. Now to get more users, you keep getting more and more traffic, you spend money. Whereas what next in marketing, I feel, which is already happening and have been happening in years, but now I think it will be like everyone will be aware about it as we move along,
Mm-hmm.
is how to get users get more users. And via not marketing, marketing has to be deployed in the product. Like it's not something outside. So I think it will become one. I think product marketing, everything will become one and will become a growth kind of a team. So I think that's in nutshell, I would say.
So just to give everyone a brief of all the ideas that we talked about, I think the number one topic that you said was that instead of looking at always what's next in marketing, we also need to improve the efficiencies of what is already ongoing,
Absolutely.
because that will make a part of majority of where your business is coming from.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
although what's next and what's upcoming and outcoming might help you to improve your marketing mix and have more channels to increase your activity, but it won't impact the majority of your business. So number one point is to concentrate on what you're doing well as you explore new channels.
Yeah. So
I think
basically 80-20 rule. Like, yeah, as you
80-20.
mentioned, it's like an 80-20 rule, right? So there will be 20% of the things which will always give you 80% of revenue. So never lose sight of that because you keep focusing on other channels. I've seen people what they do. Like I've been having conversations in past 2-3 weeks now, um, where Facebook is running. Now they'll start like 3 different social media channels. They have 5 different OTT channels to their advertising. So now they have 10 different channels they're advertising on. And since they're now energy is also deployed, right? You're focusing on a new channel, your
Yeah,
energy will also be deployed. Rather, concentrate on this 20% of the channel which give you 80% of impact and keep optimizing on it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then when you see there is a plateau being reached, okay, now I need to move towards another channel. Let me see what's next in marketing. Then you move towards that particular place. But it happens just because of getting more and more numbers, or say becoming like, let me just do everything. So what happens is you start everything and you're not able to focus or go deep dive in one certain aspect.
Right, right. Which brings me, to the other point that you were talking about, which
Yeah.
is, having more concentrating on growth loops instead of growth hacks. I think which is a very, very relevant point for what I am currently seeing in the industry. Everybody likes to label themselves as, growth hackers, and you would find that on every person's LinkedIn, bio that
Yes.
they're a growth hacker. So yeah, the focus is not on hacking a system, but it's rather to improving a system in a way that it
Awesome.
actually benefits the system itself.
Yeah.
For what you explained, what I can clearly see is that instead of focusing on how many users is my user getting through referrals and word of mouth and stuff, right now the focus is more on how frequent is this user buying from us. Like we constantly do these remarketing campaigns so that we increase their lifetime order value, as well as like the
Hmm.
frequency in in a month. Like being from an e-com industry, I know that we're constantly remarketing so that they become our loyal customers. But we don't ever look at how many people are these guys bringing in. And
Yeah,
honestly,
that's super important.
a factor of customer satisfaction is not just how much are they transacting with your business, but also
That's
how
true.
much are they referring your business to other people, right? Whether it could be referral from a product or this plain old word of mouth from like
Yeah,
long time ago, right? That is the best way to get a product viral, so as to say,
yeah,
where
yeah,
you pointed
yeah,
out that Facebook and stuff, they don't have a marketing team per se. This is where product
yeah.
and marketing come together for a growth objective.
Yes, yes. And I think as you say it, it makes me remember. You mentioned, like, see, acquisition. Like, suppose you're doing a one-way thing, you're doing a channel, and we think about optimizing a channel, right? So there will be a plateau, okay, in terms of your acquisition cost. If you're doing everything right, it will never come down. It will only increase. Why? Because the competition is increasing. The number of new company which are coming is increasing. Like, suppose take Facebook, okay, the segment is remaining the same, okay, the
Mhm.
supply is same, but the demand is more in terms of I want to show an ad, you also want to show an ad, and the auction
Mhm.
competition will keep on increasing. That it's not, if you're doing everything right with respect to one specific channel as well, it's not that your cost of acquisition will come down. The cost of acquisition for user will keep on increasing. And has been a survey, I think I was just reading a research this morning, that it has moved by 5 times in last 5 years, and it will keep on increasing. Yeah. So at that point of time, the only measure will be that users, what you're already getting at such higher acquisition cost, can get more and more users for free. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and most importantly, even investors, how do you see, like, suppose, Ria, you want to invest in a company. The number one measure you wanted to see is stop all paid channels, stop everything, and just see what happens. Just see, is your company able to grow? If you're not actively putting in money to grow, so why will that happen? The word of mouth will kick in. That is the true measure of the stability of the product. The product is viral, product is good, is getting along, people like it, and they keep sharing it. Yeah. So
Mhm.
that's how investors even invest. Like, even if you stop all my channels, if I stop paid channel tomorrow, like, what happens if Facebook is down tomorrow? Yeah, like, it's down for a week. Like, I am telling you, like, there will be thousands of business which will be out, because we are so
Mhm.
reliant on one channel. Like, that's becoming a 20% of the thing. And what
Yeah.
happens if Google gets down for a month? Yeah, because we are so reliant on paid ads, we are so reliant on, like, one specific channel. Yeah, what if Google gets down in some, and it
Yeah.
can happen, you never know. If TikTok is getting banned, I'm not sure what's going to happen. And one doesn't need to be reliant on one specific channel. That's what I mentioned, that we have, that users, even if we stop that, is the business able to grow or not? And that can
Mhm.
only grow if the word of mouth kicks in.
Yeah, very, very well said. Yeah. So I want to discuss more on the topic of growth, because I think it's a word that's loosely thrown around a lot. So I want to like talk a little bit more about how, what is exactly growth hacks and how is that different from growth loops, and what sort of hacks are actually beneficial for an account. Because I think a lot of times Indian mentality is that, ye jugaad hai, and we think
Mm.
because it's jugaad, it's something so smart, and jugaad in English translates to a hack. I think from there we think that okay, hack lagaya, this is gonna be
Mm.
damn good.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
I think so. What exactly would you say that differentiates both of them, and also how would we make a hack work for you, and it might actually work for the whole business for a long time in terms of feasibility and efforts and stuff.
Any unconventional approach where you use to meet an end result maybe can be termed as a growth hack. But more importantly, see, even if it is conventional or even unconventional, if you're driving the metric, that's what I'm concerned about. End of the day, you use thousands of growth hack. You can come and say, hey Rohit, you know what, I use this whole growth hack. I say, what's the number? What's the business? Are you able to reduce my cost of acquisition, or you are able to increase my lifetime value? If you have no answers for that, irrespective, you deploy thousands of hacks, you are a growth hacker, it's of no use to me. That's why I say that linkage to business is so important, which we forget. Yeah.
Mhm.
So be it growth hack, be it conventional or unconventional, doesn't really matter. It's just a, we should need to be think we should be, it needs to be thought in this manner, that uh, that's how this become popular. And tell you why this become popular. Because when we do certain things, we we just get so biased, or we put blinders on our eyes, that we forget about what other things are in our potential. So that's when certain people started using unconventional approach, we thought, oh, that's fancy, because we have never thought about it. But now this unconventional approach has also become a common thing now. So unconventional has also become conventional, in to say, in a certain
Yeah.
extent. Yeah. So, and that is growth hacking, which is being normed here. So I think any unconventional approach which meets an end result can become as growth hacking. But the focus should not be to, okay, let me just growth hack this. Focus should be, okay, this is my metric. What should I do to meet that end result? Now you can name any fancy term for that. Okay. Growth loop is, you can use growth hack anywhere. Like, growth hack can be in marketing, can be in sales, can be in business, can be in software engineering, can be in any field. Can be, a scientist can also do a hack, a growth hack, like, can term any name for it. Loop is something different, which I was mentioning to you, that how we connect that funnel again back to the top. Like, how can my end users again help me get more and more traffic, and again that loops becomes complete, and it keeps
Right.
running it. So I think that will answer that.
Okay, okay, awesome. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's discuss further on, if a company wants to design a growth loop, right? What are some of the starting points from where they can start forming this loop, and some ways that you can actually measure where is the loop lacking or where is the room for improvement in this loop.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. So first of all, I think to even think about growth loop, we need to know about what's a funnel. Okay. So it's very important having a command over the funnel, because if you know about fixed deposit, then only you can know about what you need to do in SIP, right? You can't directly move in SIP. So
Yeah.
something similar here, like, you need to know about what's of your funnel. So first of all, you need to know what is your sources of traffic. Okay, is it SEO, is it paid, is it direct, is it social, where is your referral, where is your traffic coming from? Okay, and now you map that channels, the source of traffic, and you make the funnel for it. Okay, like, suppose A, B, C, D. A becomes Facebook, Google, SEO, referral, direct, social, and you keep mapping the funnel. Okay, this people, this is the traffic, this many landed, this many become a lead, this many converted, this is my cost of acquisition. And and also, like, maybe a user who is coming from SEO is paying for 6 months, maybe a user coming from Facebook is paying you for 3 months. I mean, it might differ in Google and Facebook, and then you again decide, what is my lifetime value. So through channels, you decide what is my funnel. Now once you know that funnel, now you see in that whole journey, and my funnel doesn't even end till lead or till the first transaction which a consumer makes with you. It keeps going on. It keeps going till the end, where they refer and they, like, that particular things dies down. Okay, so it gets tapered off. So in that whole funnel, now you see, uh, what value I can get for that user, that he will bring in more users. Okay, and what stage in that funnel. It will only be successful if you're thinking from a user point of view. If you say, okay, you get 5 rupees, and if you share, you get 5 rupees. So that is more of inorganic terms, which I think Dropbox also used, but they didn't use, say, a money. They used to, like, suppose if I'm on Dropbox, and if I share it with you, I get 5 GB free, you also get 5 GB free. So instead of monetary, it is more about value of the product itself. So that is organic way. You can think about in that perspective as well. That is more towards referral. Okay. Um, and second way is more towards inorganic, which I believe should be holding the major percentage of, where, how if if you come, if I invite you to my platform, how can that lead to both of us being, win-win scenario. Okay, the the value on that platform becomes increased when more and more people joins in. Okay, if, like, suppose, imagine LinkedIn, if I don't have my friends there, if I don't have any other, the value, as more and more people join in my connection, the value of that platform is increasing right now. Yeah, say YouTube as well. As more and more people create more videos, the value of that platform is increasing, because as more and more videos gets created, what happens? I get more and more quality content as well, right? So we need to think about that, again, in terms of consumer perspective, that how, and I think that is called network effects, in, if I say in jargon terms. I think that you need to think about in those loops, where are the different stages of that funnel where I can deploy network effects, where if I share it, and if that other person joins it, it's not only increase the value of that whole platform, but it is also useful for you and for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that they need to figure it out in that specific funnel, and it is very product specific. So this is just a framework which we can use, but it is very product specific. You need to see at each and every funnel what you can do,
Mm-hmm.
where are that leaks, where are you can deploy it, where are the aha moments for the user, where will be that high point where you can ask a user.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them to ask for referral or say word of mouth when your platform is getting crashed and the next message they receive on phone is that, why do you want to share it? Like they're already at the low moment, right? You need to share it
Mm-hmm.
at the aha moment. And it just reminds me of a great stand-up comedian. So I think what happens is, I just give you quickly, just it's a link towards it. End of the month, he has some 100 rupees in his account. So the first message he receives that you only have 100 rupees in your account, and it's since end of the month the salary is completely drawn and like he has used all of it. The next message he receives that invest in mutual funds and get thousands of this and that. Yeah. So he's saying that there is no link. Like I don't even have money. Like there is a low moment. You can't ask
Yeah.
me to do something when I'm in my low. Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically on your aha moment, maybe on the first day of the salary, maybe on the third day you tell me to invest somewhere. On the 30th day when I'm already down with my salary, you're asking me to invest in mutual funds. Where will I do? I don't even have my money. Yeah. So just to give a perspective on that, see the aha moments in the whole funnel, and like again then ask. Uh,
Sometimes
use
I've gotten ads where it's like for kids, like 2 plus 2 equals. I was like, what am I doing online that I'm getting these ads right now? So
tell.
I actually like contacted the company like from LinkedIn and I told them that,
Okay.
listen, I'm seeing your ad way too often. And it was like a California based company. I'm like, I am
Okay.
not sure why I'm getting this. I don't think I've watched anything online of the sort. I think
Yeah, it happens all the
I've
time.
heard people, I as marketing people were like quite nuts about ads. So we'll watch it
Yeah.
fully till the end. Where is
Fully.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
okay?
We do.
What is the messaging? How did they use
Yeah.
this? And I'll constantly comment on it. ये अच्छे से नहीं किया. This later
Yeah.
should
That's
have
right.
been this way. I've
Yeah.
seen some of my friends who say they'll click on the ad also just to punish
Yeah.
the advertiser
Oh.
with the screen.
Acha. That's an interesting stuff. Yeah, I do. I do it, but maybe not to punish, maybe, but yeah, just see the flow. Like
Yeah,
what is the language they're
I
using
just act like I'm the brand manager, and what would I have done differently if this was
differently.
my ad?
That's a great insight for all of us. Like who are hearing this, like it's a great insight. Learn from your competitors, see what they're doing. Um, yeah, basically see what the ads are. What's the different messaging? If you are that person, how differently will you do? That's a great thing. That's a great insight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a fun role playing game with myself, but definitely it does help me. Like if
Yeah,
I
it
do get
does.
in a situation, I have been thinking this way, so it does
Hmm.
help me to get better at decision
Makes a lot of sense.
making. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
All right. That was awesome. I learned a lot of things. I feel like I want to, dive in and actually have a campaign and stuff. So I like understand the execution stuff also from
Yeah.
it. But I think the ideas are make a lot of sense, especially going from a COVID point of view where we will have lesser budgets for a while now, right? And we
It
still
becomes
need to
more burden
ramp
now.
up
Yeah.
business. So some
Yeah.
people say that my podcast has been there since COVID happened. So I've heard people's
Okay.
opinions on how to cope up with it, and a lot of people
Hmm.
pointed out to increasing your organic channels. But that's not a easy process. I can say that
Hmm.
invest more in your organic channels. It's not going to happen in a day or a month or a year.
Yeah.
It takes a
Yeah.
very long time, like a lot of
And you have
effort and stuff.
limitations. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot
you
of
need a lot
limitations
of
also.
patience.
Yeah.
So
And
till the time you're doing that, you can at least,
yeah.
also work on your growth loops and make your loops
Yep.
better when you actually get money to bring in, people from ads.
Yes. And you keep measuring, like right now, what is that viral coefficient? Like first you measure right now, where are you right now? What's your K factor? Then okay, then you deploy an experiment. You measure it. Okay, your K factor is improving or not. And accordingly, like you keep moving forward and doing it. I think that will become I think for a compounding growth for any company, if you take Airbnb, Facebook, no one has grown linearly. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there was some growth loop deployed in any of this that has made them successful. Had it been there no growth loop, it will take a natural time a company takes to linearly grow slowly and steadily. It will keep growing, keep growing, keep
Yeah.
growing. But if you need that kind of a hockey stick kind of a growth, We
Mm-hmm.
need to figure out a growth loop.
Yeah,
By the
exactly.
way, these I've also learned it. I think Brian Balfour is the guy who's advocate about this. So his this idea is just I'm portraying what I've learned from different resources. Second guy is Sean Alice, who has this book Hacking Growth. I've learned a lot from that book as well. Just to mention
Nice.
it.
Thanks for suggesting this. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the last section where we can sort of discuss about action items that people can go and like look in their campaigns and improve their
Hmm.
marketing channels and stuff.
Hmm. Okay, so action items as I just mentioned, we discussed about growth loops. I've mentioned, I think, first see where are the traffic, where are the different channels that are
Hmm.
coming from, deploy that complete graph, make a graph till end of it. See two things, where are the different stages in that funnel where you can deploy the network effects, where even if they invite, how can that improve his or her life? Not only that, but also improves the life of the complete platform, okay, who's not at all
Mm-hmm.
related with it. So second thing is go towards aha moment. See where is that aha moment and where you can seep in that particular referral thing or say an invite thing, a shareable thing. So I think yeah, I think once you and since it is not specific, it's not a straight thing. Like it's not like okay, create a lookalike campaign in Facebook, do interest targeting. This is the interest targeting. This is the remarketing. It's not like that straight that I can exactly mention. It's very specific to the product. And
Yeah.
once you deep dive into it, read more about it. So it's more like a directional thing. Once you read
Mm-hmm.
more, understand for any product now, you need to start thinking. Okay, let's take like we can even do an exercise right now as well, or the users can do after this session as well. Like take any product, whatever we have discussed now, dissect that product and see where are the growth loops. Is there any growth loop or not? Can we deploy more growth loops or not? And I think most of the tech companies, be it Facebook, YouTube, you will find various growth loops. At times, there are 3, 4 loops which are keep running. Okay, and that leads to
Mm-hmm.
more and more users as well. So I think that will be my suggestion in terms of actionable items. And I think read more about it. More you read, more you first see it, how it is being deployed in other companies. What exactly does it mean? I think it will become much more better sense. Maybe what I've told or mentioned can be a directional path where you can go and research more about it and further understand what's that it and then apply in your own company.
Right, definitely. I would also like to add, for people like of my age and my role and stuff, I think we should also try to get more into product side, even if it's
Yeah,
in
definitely.
terms of information, right? How does UI UX work of a product?
100%.
Yeah, all of those, because I see that trend happening. Everybody's talking about it, that marketing will become obsolete with all the machine learning campaigns and all of the technology we have. We don't really need that many people doing hardcore marketing. So if
Yeah,
I am going to go to a growth part, which is inevitable if
yeah,
I'm in marketing, I should also
yeah.
start looking towards how does a product work, what, because the loops are also specific to the product, like you said. So it
Yes.
would
Yeah.
be good to start learning about this kind of stuff.
100%. It's a great ad. Like, and I think I've been lucky since we have been in startup. So we have that autonomy or flexibility in terms of like I have designed my landing pages. I've created the flow for me. Though,
Hmm.
like, and you might say, okay, a performance marketer guy, why should they do it? They have a product manager and they should do it. But I think we have been lucky. And since I think if like you have to take that responsibility for your company and start moving towards, okay, what is the UX? What should be the right flow? See the right flow for others. And I think read if you read more and more about it, or automatically it will come, okay, these are the things which other companies are doing. I can deploy the similar thing in my company or not. So rightly said, I think we have to, so basically again, instead of funnel approach with just marketing, we have to broaden our horizon and move into different segments as well.
Right. Awesome. I think with that, I would like to conclude the podcast. We discussed a lot of complex ideas that, people have
Yeah.
to now go and like look up for months. But
Now I'm thinking, have I made it more complicated for you guys or I made it more easy for you guys?
no, no, I think it's very good that you brought out this topic, because I have barely heard about it in the industry, and I think it would help fellow marketers to start learning these concepts from now on, and it won't be a
Correct.
shock later on when it's actually mainstream, right? So thank you so much for bringing these ideas. With that, we wrap up the sixth episode of What's Next in Marketing. If you guys are enjoying the series so far, make sure to share it with somebody else in the industry who might find it useful. And if you guys are loving this series, then make sure to hit it with a subscribe, follow, like, or comment, anything that can let the algorithm know that it's worth it.